Good morning, Quadcopter 101 here, and I have another neat review for you today. This is an oldie but a goodie, and it's also been updated. This is the Bayangtoys X5C-1. Bayangtoys X5C-1. Now, you'll see this marketed. They won't include the words Bayangtoys when you see ads for this. Sometimes you'll see an ad just saying X5C-1, and people say, oh, that must be the Syma X5C. No, it's not. You got to make sure you see the word Syma if you're looking for a Syma X5C. Although, those that get fooled by those ads, don't feel too bad, because this is actually an excellent quadcopter, the Bayangtoys X5C-1. And let's go over that. It is more or less very close copy of the X5C, except it's a little bit thicker arms than the design on the X5C. But other than that, it does have features that the X5C, the original Syma X5C does not have. And those include headless mode and one key return. And something that Syma never implemented on the Syma X5C is a Wi-Fi FPV camera, and actually a 720p Wi-Fi FPV camera. Now, the Bayangtoys X5C-1 also had an upgraded version originally with Wi-Fi FPV, but it was low resolution. Now they have a high resolution camera on here, 720p HD. So, you know, you have HD video. Additionally, the app that this runs on is the Bayangtoys FPV app, and that has some pretty neat features to it, and I'll be demonstrating that here shortly. One of them that I really like on that app is it comes with a simulator, a built-in simulator program that you can actually practice before you go out and fly this at home. And stick around for the end of this video. I will try to include details on that simulator. I'll use a screen recorder, and we'll try it out, and I'll show you how it works. It's actually pretty nice. So, again, we got 720p HD Wi-Fi camera. It is powered by a 500 milliampere hour Syma X5C battery. And what this version gets is, what's cool about this version is you get 3 batteries. They give you one battery and 2 spares. So it comes with 3 batteries. You don't have to go buy an extra spare batteries for this quadcopter. It already comes with it. Let's go over its transmitter. Transmitter, very similar to the Syma X5C transmitter. We have a rate control up here for beginner intermediate. I don't think it has expert rate. I think there's only 2 rates like the X5C. We have a flip button here. This quadcopter does not have altitude hold, so you know that is a plus in my opinion. You learn better on a non-altitude hold quadcopter, especially throttle control. But it does have headless mode and one key return if you need those crutches. It does have those features. So let's go for a flight of this thing and see how it performs. First, I'll be flying via FPV using the quadcopter's controller to control the quadcopter, and using this my phone to record the video and view the FPV video. And then I'm going to do a follow-on flight with one of those spare batteries, controlling the quadcopter via my phone alone, and seeing if we have any differences. So hope you enjoy this flight. So to fire this up, all you need to do is turn on the quadcopter. It's already plugged in. And I am going to set the headless mode direction off diagonally down the field. That'll be our headless mode direction. And then we're going to open up actually I'm going to bind the quadcopter first to the controller. Automatically binds, folks. You don't have to do that up and down. Okay, first thing first. Let's try this. Let's give it a little throttle. Turn off the transmitter. 1001, 1002, it stops. So we don't have to worry about flyaways. It will stop. It will drop when it loses reception. Okay, I'll fire up the app now. Okay, this is the Bayang-FPV app. Now the first thing you notice is these 2 green switches on the upper left side of the controller. It has fixed height mode on and off. We want to turn that off, and I'll show you why later. Because if that turns on and this is in control with fixed height mode, the quadcopter will actually start taking off, because it will assume center throttle is not, you know, if you're in altitude hold mode, it will assume the throttle has been centered, and that means it will already have power and it will take off to the sky. So very important to make sure that the fixed height mode is off. The second button on here is switch language. When you download this, it will come set with altitude hold on and in Chinese mode. You got to press that second button to select English, and again turn off fixed height mode. Now, all we need to do is, well, let's hit that settings. There's nothing in here that's important. Autosave parameters. We have right-hand mode, and you can actually select, you know, if you have a mode 1 controller or want to fly this with mode 1, you'd hit right-hand mode. So we're exiting out of that. And down in the lower right corner, I'm not going to hit it right now, but that joypad that you see there, joystick joypad there, is actually the entrance button for the simulator. We'll play that later on at the end of this video. So we're going to hit play, and we see we have FPV view, and I'm going to turn off control, so we have control via the controller here, and then turn on the video, starting video recording, and we're going to be flying FPV and starting up the quadcopter, setting it up. So the first thing I want to do is demonstrate its camera, setting it up higher, and this is the camera on the X5C-1 from Bayangtoys. Coming down a little lower because I'm going up high, and I'm also getting a little bit out of range of the FPV. So, you know, you got to manually fly this one. It has no altitude hold. I'm going upwind too. And we'll plop it right about there and let the wind blow it back, and then I'll rotate. Wind's blowing it back, showing the view from above. And it wants to fly toward the sun. And coming back down. Now let's bring it up close. For those of you who like to see these up close, bring it in forward. Going up a little bit higher and say, hey, I like my shirt today, folks. Okay, bringing it down. Next thing, let's try that headless mode. Headless mode activated. Oh, it seems to think that that is the headless mode direction, which is strange. Headless mode being deactivated. And coming back to me. Let's turn headless mode back on again. Why was that? Now it thinks that's the headless mode direction. Turn the headless mode off. So it seems to change each time, folks. I am guessing that you want to set this. Let's land it for a second. Bring it in close. And we'll stop it right there. I think you want to turn headless mode on at takeoff. Let's try that. Yeah. If you're going to fly headless mode, set its direction right at takeoff. And unfortunately, I seem to have lost my video feed. Let's bring that in for a second and land it again. Turning headless mode off and stopping my video recording. I don't know why I lost video feed. I lost the Wi-Fi signal. So hold on, folks. Let's find out about that Wi-Fi signal. I'm going to stop Mobs in 2. And close. Okay, I have connection, so I'm going back to my FPV or Bayangtoys video, and I do have signal again. So we lost signal there for a second. So starting up Wi-Fi, starting up Mob is in 1, and starting the recording again, and taking off again. Now let's see if this thing flies like an X5C. X5Cs are very, very maneuverable. And this one seems to be too. Let me go to higher rate. 2 rates. Yeah. Somewhat good flyer. Trying to roll. Going back to beginner rate. Trying to roll in beginner rate. So, I don't know. The original X5C might be a little more maneuverable than this. But let's try the funnels with this. This is its funnels. And my video's frozen again, so I guess I've lost video lock again. So stopping that recording. Not sure why this loses video lock repeatedly. Let's bring it down a little lower, because I guess if I do screwy flying or fly a little too far, it will lose video lock. I want to start it up again because I want to show the camera again. So we're going to stop Mobbizin one more time. And we're stopping Mobbizin. Close. And I think we have signal again. Signal's back. So starting up the camera again. This time I'm not going to be flying screwy like that. We're going to just demonstrate the camera again. Try to maintain. I lost signal again. Unfortunately. It was working so well in the beginning of this flight, I don't know why. Maybe it's Mobbizin. Let me turn off Mobbizin. And we'll try flying it this time without Mobbizin. Okay, close. Okay, starting the recording. This time no Mobbizin. I don't want to blame it on the quad. Oh, I lost signal again. I'm not sure why I'm losing signal, folks. Hold on. This time, let's move this right there, like so. Bending the antenna downward. And waiting for a signal to recatch. Turning Mobbizin off, actually. I didn't move it off the screen. Now it's totally off. No Mobbizin at all. Stopping the video. And making sure we got Wi-Fi. We're connected. So, okay. This time I have stopped Mobbizin completely. Let's see if we can maintain video. It's frozen again. Okay, I give up with that. Unfortunately, the video camera worked great at the beginning there, but as the battery is getting lower here, it seems to lose its reception. I guess the Wi-Fi transmission gets weak as the battery power gets depleted from the quadcopter. But let's fly it around. It is a good flyer, like the X5C. Smooth and gentle. Good learn to fly quadcopter, like the X5C. So those of you who got a Bayangtoys X5C-1, you know, it is a good quadcopter. It really is. A good learn to flyer. Learn the basics on, especially throttle control. I harp this over and over again, but you know, it's important to learn throttle control. You start out by just doing out and backs like this, trying to maintain the same altitude, you know, with the butt end of the quadcopter toward you, and all I'm doing is pulling back and forth on the throttle or the pitch stick. And I'm doing a poor job of showing you how to maintain altitude with the throttle. But that's the idea. And then eventually you go out and then you learn turning the nose toward you, bringing it back toward you, and then turning the nose away from you and sending it out, turning the nose toward you, and then bringing it back. You know, those are the steps to learn how to fly. And again, this is a good quadcopter to learn that with. Unfortunately, its Wi-Fi signal is still frozen. It was working real good at the beginning, but as the battery power got lower, its signal got weaker. Still a good flipper. And it comes with 3 batteries. Let's see about the range. I am going to send it downfield until it slowly downfield. See how far I can go with this Wi-Fi signal, and I'm at the end of the field. Still got control. Nope, I lost control right there. About 100 meters, folks, right at the end of the field. So you get control out to about 100 meters. Even with the Wi-Fi signal. That's good. Yeah, right at the opposite end of the field, and just made it. So let's go get it. And we'll continue on. And I'm going to start flying with the app here shortly. As mentioned, it made it all the way to the end of the field. That means this transmitter is very powerful. You probably fly even farther than 100 meters, maybe 200 meters if you remove the phone. But that gives me a hint. What the problem is with this Wi-Fi is this transmitter seems to be the transmitter controller is probably overpowering its Wi-Fi signal. So that's why we're probably seeing screwy Wi-Fi. And that brings up a point. I need to do this follow-on flight here shortly, showing flying with the controller or with the phone alone to see if that improves the Wi-Fi signal. But yeah, very interesting. Very powerful controller if it made it all the way down here with a phone attached. So if you got a little tiny little action camera like an 808 and want to throw it on this thing, you probably go out a good 200 meters with this transmitter without Wi-Fi if you don't have Wi-Fi signal. Okay, bringing it around. Let's go and fly it. Okay, I think that's the end of its flight time. Yep, blinking. So let's fly it with the app next. I'll put another battery in, that second battery you get with this, and let's see how it works with the app. Hope you enjoy the second part of this flight. Okay, I am almost certain that that transmitter was overpowering the app. Just too much transmission power, and that's why we're getting the screwy FPV signal. But right now, I got this connected to my app. We're going to fly it via the app. But first off, very important, before you open up that app, turn off that fixed height mode. You do not want to start that app up and take control of the quadcopter in fixed height mode, because it will have center stick and the quadcopter will take off to the sky. Okay, and you may have a flyaway if you have that turned on. So now we're going to hit, let me make sure, yeah, Mobizin's recording. We're going to hit play. We have FPV signal, and I am going to turn on, and we got control. We should have control via the app. And also I'm going to hit record, starting recording, and let's take to the sky. See how it performs with the app alone. I'm in a low rate right now. No, it's 100% rate. I'm going to go over to the center of the field here. And my signal is coming through. I'm seeing the signal. So, yes, you can control it with the app. Let's fly it around a bit. It's a very gentle flyer with the app, even though I'm in 100% rate. It doesn't seem to be 100% rate. Let's get some video. Okay, so let's go up a little bit higher. Right about there, and rotate. And the wind's blowing it that way now. We got some screwy winds today, folks. Coming back on. Now, let me show you I still got signal. That was it, folks. When you're flying it with the controller seems to overpower the signal from this, the Wi-Fi signal from the quadcopter. Bring it back a little closer. There I am. Okay, let's try some other ways to fly this. Let's see if we can do gentle landing, gentle. This has headless mode. So we are going to pick a headless mode direction off in that way. Turn on the headless mode. Let's see here. And also I'm going to turn on gyro control, which means I'm going to tilt it like that. Nah, let's keep gyro control off. But we are going to use headless mode. Let me turn on headless mode. We press this button here. Let's move Mobizin out of the way. And there's the headless mode button right there. So we should be, it beeps. Let's turn off the video, turn it back on again. Take it to the air. And we've lost signal, unfortunately. So maybe I was wrong. turn off that beeping in headless mode. Headless mode is off. Let me make sure I'm recording this. I am. So, headless mode's off. We lost signal. Again, as that battery, I guess I was wrong. As the battery decreases in power, you know, you get that initial charge on the battery. The FPV works well, but now it's gone. I'm still recording with Mobizen to show that. But unfortunately, we've lost signal. Okay, I'm going to call it quits here shortly, but I want to show you the danger of starting this thing in fixed height mode. We're going to hit play. And we should have control. And turning altitude hold off, turning altitude. See, if you hit that, it's just going to climb, and keep on climbing until you bring it down. So there is a danger of flyaway, folks, and when you fly this in altitude hold mode. Okay, let's bring it over closely, and I'll show you that problem. Bring it closer. Then I let go of the sticks, and it just climbs because the stick is centered. So keep that in mind, folks. You don't want to fly this in altitude hold mode. You want to make sure that's turned off before you attempt to fly this quadcopter. Let me turn that off. Before you attempt to fly this quadcopter with the app only. Otherwise, there is a flyaway potential. Quadcopter 101, final thoughts on the quadcopter. Yeah, it's a good flyer. Good beginners learn to fly quadcopter. Its controller gives it extreme range. You know, you get out at least 100 meters with that thing, with its main controller. But flying it via the app can be a little bit dangerous there, mainly in that the headless mode doesn't work as advertised. You're not sure which way the headless mode's pointing. The FPV video freezes up very shortly after flight. It works for the first couple of minutes, and then it starts to freeze. And finally, if you try to fly this quadcopter and forget to turn off headless mode, or not headless mode, altitude hold mode, this thing will go skyward into the sky, and there is a possibility of flyaway, so you got to be careful of that. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Stick around for the simulator demonstration after this, and signing out.
One here, and there's one thing I want to show you I really like about this app, version 1.1.8, and that is its simulator. If you look down in the lower right corner, you'll see the joystick button, or the joypad button. Press that button and you'll see loading, and then it opens up, and you'll see we got a simulator program. We can actually fly this as a simulator. So giving a little throttle on the left. Let me turn down the volume a bit. It's a little too loud. Cutting back on the throttle or volume. So let's set it up. Notice how it flies. With this simulator, you can actually practice flight, non-altitude hold flight. There's no altitude hold in the simulator version. So you get to learn and practice flying around without altitude hold. It's actually pretty dang nifty. Now, one thing you can practice with this, say, is like orientation techniques. You know, send it out distant where you can just barely see it, and you can't tell which direction it's facing. Just give it a little forward pitch, and notice it's moving to the right, and all I got to do to bring it back to me is keep turning right until the movement stops. And here it comes back to me. So let's send it out again. Same thing. Going way out, distant, and then I'm going to hover it, and then I'm going to spin it. Spin it several times so I don't know which way is the front. Spinning it, spinning it, spinning it. Let's send it out even further, actually. Let's send it out to close to 100 meters. Okay, heading outbound. Flying outbound, flying outbound. 70, about 80 meters. I'm pretty darn far out. I don't know which way is the front. All I need to do is push forward a bit on the stick. Notice that it's moving to the left. And all I got to do to bring it back to me is turn to the left slowly until it stops moving. And if it moves to the right, then I turn to the right slowly until it stops moving. And it'll bring it right back to you. So that's a very important skill that you can actually practice with this simulator program. So it's actually pretty darn neat. Now another thing, if you fly too far away, it'll simulate what happens with the Bayangtoys X5C-1. You'll notice, let's send it up high and go out to about 100 meters. And once we reach 100 meters, that's what would happen with your Bayangtoys. So keep that in mind, folks. So all in all, you know, this app I really like the simulator that comes with it. So a good way to learn and practice basic flying techniques for a non-altitude hold quadcopter. One thing you can't do though with it is you can't do flips, and you can't set higher rates. It's just beginner's rate for the whole flight. So let's land it, bring it back, and landing it. And that's the simulator app for the Bayang FPV app. So hope you enjoyed this flight. This is Quadcopter 101, signing out.